Girl,
Everybody
it's
follow
packed
the one
out
line,
here tonight.
please. Follow the one line, please.
I told you.
IDs out. I need to see IDs. Thank you, ladies. Welcome to Park Ave.
Excuse me. Hello? Can you move? What? Excuse me. Oh my God. You ready to go? Girl, I've been ready.
Apple juice. Okay, so I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This is technically the second recording because apparently it stopped and I don't know what just happened. So this is take two. It takes two, baby. Me and you. Oh, it makes two to make the thing go right. Yeah. Okay. But anyways, hi. We're back. It is NatoyaEbony and
Adrianna Cool.
And welcome to Recovering Party Girls. I really don't know what just happened. It stopped recording, so I had to make it record again.
Because God wanted you to give me my whole props. See, you tried to give me like 75% of my props on your healing. And God said, no ma'am, we're shutting that shit down.
Okay, so last week I was sick. And I really was sick. So I text Adrianna. All I really wanted was like some cold medicine. I wanted some Robitussin.
You wanted NyQuil.
NyQuil. Or Robitussin. I'm an easy bitch. She come over with like a Kroger's bag full of like shit from the motherland, and I'm like, how the hell did you go to the middle of like Zimbabwe and get root from like the dead tree to heal like the mucus in my fucking system? So she hands me some powder. She hands me
crystallized vitamin C.
She hands me some hand squeezed lemon juice, talk about heat that shit up. It was just like, she handed me a bunch of stuff. And then it's like, after that, she gave me like some Alka-Seltzer. And I was just like, what the fuck is this for at this point? Because clearly I don't know medicine these days because all these other medicines don't make no sense to me. However, the regimen she did give me did make me feel better. And I do want to say, like in a day and a half, I was back in this thing like I never left. So thank you, Adrianna.
You're welcome.
Because apparently karma cut the last recording off.
Because God knew you weren't trying to give me my hope.
Well, thank you, Adrianna. Don't cut this one off, God. I ain't got all night.
Oh my gosh. You were trying to give me my props, girl.
Outside of that, how is your day going?
My day is,
how was your week?
My week was busy. You know, I'm really trying to get a promotion in my job.
Yes, get these coins.
And it ain't easy because
it's hard out here.
And I'm tired. My eyes been twitching. I've been really trying to get up early, but I haven't been getting up early.
Okay.
But anyways, but it's been good. So you know, I've been really trying to. I could tell myself I was gonna start budgeting, but and maybe eat out twice instead of like 3-4 times in a day.
Oh,
because that keeps my metabolism high, right? So but it hasn't been working.
So
but anyways,
you're still eating out. So what did you do this week? Where should we go?
So I think you guys, like, I've been really heavy into Mexican food lately, and
I feel like you're always into Mexican food.
Well, I'm like my inner lady is like a Mexican abuela.
We go through this every week.
So anyways, so there's this place in Katy called Uncle Julio's, and it's right off. The exit is right after Fry Road. I've really been into ceviche because I've been trying to eat light and fresh and healthy, and they have an amazing happy hour from 3 to 7. And their margaritas are legit sick for $5. Like the ambiance, I feel like I'm in like Monterrey. They have curbside guacamole stations. They have $5 margaritas. $5 whole dollars from 3 to 7.
Wait, shout out. And I heard that Applebee's has dollar margaritas. I don't know if this is true. I don't know no Applebee's in Texas. But if you're in Florida, where I'm originally from, there's an Applebee's everywhere. Bitch, go get you a dollar margarita.
Applebee's actually failed their food
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
In Florida, Applebee's used to have that 2 for $20.
They got an F.
No,
on there.
they got that 2 for $20, and they had that. I think now it's like 2 for $25.
They use probiotic meat.
I don't give a shit. Applebee's, y'all was popping. I'm not gonna let nobody disrespect y'all because I was on that bitch every time I got a chance.
Well, guys,
so
when you know better, you do better.
And I don't know better when it comes to Applebee's. So let's be clear. They said Applebee's have dollar margaritas. All my homies in Florida, pop off, okay? Imagine what you could do with $20. Thank you. Anyways, continue.
Well, if you go to Uncle Julio's,
all my niggas in Florida can go.
You can get you a
your dollar.
margarita. You can get you some tamales. You can get you some quesadillas.
$1.
Or you can get you some delicious ceviche. So I would recommend you guys to go to this delicious Mexican restaurant on Julio's in Katy. The address is 20434 Interstate 10. That's I-10, Katy. The exit is right at, don't know the name of the exit, but I know it's right after Fry Road. And it's right there off the freeway. So if you're stuck in traffic going into Katy, I would suggest you stop by there for their happy hour. It's pretty bomb.
And I would suggest if you're by Applebee's, they're
don't go to Applebee's.
They're $1.
Just don't go to Applebee's.
I don't know. They're
not knocking it, but I'm knocking it.
Applebee's, Ruby Tuesdays, Chili's, and
definitely
Red Lobster.
all failed. The
all,
test.
I don't care. All y'all gave me life.
Hormones
okay, all of my Florida people. I don't know what y'all doing in Texas, but all my Florida people, y'all know what I'm talking about. Get you some good old Chili's, get you some good old Red Lobster, and keep it moving.
Yeah, those all failed.
I don't care. They was all bomb in my day.
Okay. Well,
shout out to all of them. Was in them. And Orlando Ale House, I miss you.
Oh my gosh. Who's your woman crush Wednesday, girl?
My woman crush Wednesday goes out to Shireen. Does Shireen have a last name?
I don't know her last name.
Shireen didn't have a last name, I don't think. Okay, anyway, Shireen came from...
She's such a good dancer.
She's such a horrible friend. Shireen is played by AJ Johnson. Shout out to AJ Johnson. I go on your Instagram page all the time. You literally work out everybody in Hollywood.
Oh, that's Jody's mama.
Jody's mama works out everybody in Hollywood. That bitch is paid, okay? She don't need to be in nobody's movie ever again.
It was Jody's mama.
It was Jody mama, and Jody mama was out here trying to get some good dick. I was here for Jody mama the whole time. Jody mama just wanted some good dick and wanted to take care of her and wanted to see her grandkids when she wanted to
be in her garden.
And be in her garden without no weed being in her garden. Like, she was so pissed when she seen the weed. I'm like, Jody, grandma, can they roll some weed? Like, stop being ridiculous. But Shireen is like the fly is the fly girl from the hood and House Party. And the reason Shireen is my woman crush Wednesday is because she's a terrible friend. She really is. And every time Tisha's in a movie, I call her Tisha. But her name's not Tisha in this movie. What is Tisha's name in this movie? Sydney. Got it. Sydney. Okay, so the movie starts off. They're in school. Everybody's popping. Everybody got asymmetrical face. Everybody popping in their spandex.
Like crimp curls.
They popping. Like, that high school
overalls with one buckled up.
Literally popping. And Play... Shout out to Play. I still think you're fine, and I still want to have your babies. Play's having a party because his parents went down south, which I'm going to assume down south will be Florida, Georgia, because they all down or Mississippi, Alabama, but whatever. So Play's parents are going out of town. He wants to throw a party on like a Wednesday. That's basically how it's like. He's throwing a party on like a Wednesday, and so he invites everybody from the school. Well, the problem with Shireen comes. Shireen is like the it girl of the school. She got the fly clothes. She's a good dancer. She got the fly haircut. She don't have no curfew because she live in a project. So, you know, project kids don't have curfews.
Project kids don't have curfews.
Project kids don't because
why don't project kids have curfews?
Because like when I was growing up, I couldn't go on the number streets, and the number streets was like where the hood was. But we lived in a suburb, so it's like the hood was like maybe driving probably like 10 minutes from us.
That is so true.
But
project kids don't
have no curfews. And then one time my mama let me stay with somebody while she went out of town, and they lived in the hood, and I was just so shocked at 9 o'clock I was still outside playing. I was like, Y'all ain't gotta go inside? I was really confused because, you know, project kids don't have no curfew. Like, they
don't.
They really allowed to come home when they feel like it.
Like, oh my God, that is so true.
Like, and maybe, so let me not say that. Some project kids probably do have curfew, but most of y'all don't.
No.
Let's be real. So, I mean, some of our kids have curfews, bitch. I had to be in the house
lights
at a certain time.
On.
Like,
Lights on.
I don't even think I went outside that much in being in the suburbs. I just was okay with being in the house, waiting to be in the house. So, I mean, Charmaine was just, what I call her Charmaine? Shireen. I call her Charmaine from a different world. Never mind. I watched a different world earlier today. But Shireen, she was like the fly girl, and Play and Kid wanted to holler at her. Now, from jump, I only thought Kid had a chance.
Yeah.
No, Play. I only thought Play had a chance because he was a cool kid. Kid was very, like, his daddy didn't want him to go nowhere. He still got beat with the belt. It was just, like, a whole lot going on in Kid's life that wasn't enough.
Didn't his mom pass? His
mom passed, and then his dad was, like, super strict. And, you know, Play parents left him a whole house without, like, sending him nowhere else. So, like, Play had a little more freedom in the world of high school. Because, mind you, let's be clear, they're all in high school, even though this party happened on, like, a Wednesday.
Yes.
So, long story short, everybody checking for Shireen. Sydney kind of checking for Kid. Kid still checking for Shireen. Now, the nice thing to do would be like, you know what? Kid is childish. He can't get under his daddy thumb. I don't have no curfew and I'm grown. Let me talk to Play.
I know how to make Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Or the local drug dealer. Because I really feel like Shireen was talking to the local drug dealer this whole time. Because Shireen had real fly shit to be somebody in a project and 100 people lived in her house. But that's just me.
Yeah.
So they go to the party. She popping. Everybody popping. Everybody in Shireen face. Shireen out here giving y'all a good two-step of that yellow running man, like the tight pants and a fucking vest. Shireen out here giving y'all life. And then Sydney's like, oh my God, you know, Kid was trying to dance with me. And she was like, oh, he was all over me all night, girl. And Sydney looking like, but I thought you was checking for Play. And she was like, I don't know who I'm checking for yet, but I'm checking for who I'm checking for. Basically is what Shireen said to Sydney. And Sydney's like, but you said Kid was immature. And she was like, I said he was cute too. She's like that friend that needs all the niggas. You can't hang out with the friend that needs all the niggas. Because, like, if there's a crew of niggas, choose one, maybe two, keep it moving. You can't choose all five if it's five of us. Like, you can't put dibs on everybody until you decide, bitch. And that's what Shireen did. But with that being said, and then Shireen tried everybody, went upstairs with Kid, trying on Play's mama dress with Kid. It was like, his mama clothes is cute. And then Sydney walked up like, girl, what you doing?
Disrespectful.
And she was like, oh, we just trying on clothes. And then, when you think Shireen's about to be a decent person, she just tells her, well, steal him from me. And she said that knowing or thinking that Sydney could not steal him from her. And that's shady as shit, too. Because she really said it like, well, if you think you should have him, then have him.
Yeah.
But then the biggest problem I had with Shireen anyway is that we all know Shireen was talking to the local drug dealer. I mean, she lived in the projects. She literally had like all the cool fly clothes. We seen who lived in the house when she got ready to say bye. It was like her old grandma that was about to die, like 2 uncles, 500 kids. And so we all know that she was talking to a local drug dealer. That's why she wasn't at house party too, because in my mind, she had just got with a drug dealer and lived like midnight. Remember that book, Coldest Winter Ever?
Mm-mm. I did buy it off of Amazon. I haven't. It's in my lineup.
Oh well,
I
feel like Shireen was just like, oh girl from what's her name? Winter? I can't remember. But from the Coldest Winter Ever, I feel like she just ended up being that girl, and then like her baby daddy was a drug dealer. He went to jail, but they had a whole bunch of money. She still lived in the projects, and they drove like Hummers. I do. Like, I really think that was like her ending. That's why she wasn't in number 2. Because why Shireen didn't go to college? Shireen could have went to college.
She could have.
But Shireen was being fast.
Yeah.
And just how easy it was for them to knock on her window and be like, oh, Kid in jail, come outside. Okay, I'm going to come. And then, And then it was after they woke up her uncle. Like, her uncle opens the window, like, what y'all doing? And then she still left the house. Like, her uncle didn't come up and be like, you can't leave the house. Her uncle didn't tell the half-dead grandma. Still, she was just like, all right, well, I'm going to be outside.
Grabbed the little leather, grabbed the little jacket.
And kept it moving.
In the car.
Because, Sydney, like, had a lot of her parents, had threw kid out the window, hit the dog, and did all this extra shit. Sherane just walked out the front door and locked the door. So, she locked the door. Like, she locked the... Because, when you sing it out, you can't lock the door.
Yeah.
You just got to leave that bitch open. You got to leave that bitch ajar. Yeah. She got to stay ajar when you're sneaking out.
Yeah.
So, no, fuck that. I know. Sherane is a horrible friend, and Sydney just wanted to talk to kid, and Sherane was trying to monopolize all the niggas at the high school, and that ain't shit. She ain't shit for that. But she paid back, because then Jody Daddy ended up being horrible, and then Jody ended up being a bum-ass nigga.
Because it came full circle.
It came full circle. Like, but I watch my movies like that anyway. Mm-hmm. You can't be in one movie. I put you like it's your lifelong story.
Like, you can't be
if you're Gina, like to me in my mind, Gina started off on House Party, and then when she got grown, she moved to Detroit and got with Martin. Yeah. I run my shit together.
Yeah, I do.
That. I run my movies together. I tend to do that. I like a narrative.
I like that narrative. I
like a narrative. But that's that. So, this week, unreluctant to me, we are recovering from daddy issues.
Dun, dun, dun.
You need to make it more depressing than that. You went too high. You need to go lower.
Wah, wah.
No, like, dun, dun, dun. That nigga said, wah, wah. Yo! Every time I think about like daddy issues, I think about Beyonce's song or Dangerously, that album Dangerously in Love. And she was singing about how she want her unborn son to be like her daddy. I want my unborn son to be like my daddy. And she said she want her husband. This bitch. God, on the scale of Beyonce Dangerously in Love and Beyonce Lemonade, how's your relationship with your daddy?
It's definitely a lemonade.
Lemonade is kind of sad because actually I was looking at, I looked up the lyrics actually because we had decided this topic clearly. Let me find it. Give me 5 seconds, kids. Hold up. Okay. So, of course, on Dangerously in Love album, which is Beyonce's first solo album, she had a whole song about like how her daddy's the greatest nigga on earth. And he's so great that like she wants her husband and the kid that even came out her vagina yet to be like him. And I'm like, oh, and I remember even listening to that song because I was in high school. Yes. I remember listening to that song like, nigga, what type of daddy you got that you want all these niggas to be like that nigga? But that's neither here nor there. But then
you know what? Her husband ended up being like her daddy.
No, but that's later though. But because she at that point she didn't know her daddy was
a cheater,
was what he was. So it's funny to fast forward to Lemonade to say, and it's during the monologues. She says, "You remind me of my father, a magician, able to exist in 2 places at one time. In the tradition of the men in my blood, you come home at 3 a.m. and lie to me." And that is heavy. That's heavy.
Tough.
Heavy. That's
tough.
heavy.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
It is because I always felt bad for Beyonce and her daddy only because like even with dance, you remember the Luther Vandross dance?
Yes, that song makes me cry.
It should, and the video should make you cry as well.
Yes, that song
so
makes me cry.
If you watch Dance with My Father, it's actually Beyonce and her dad
dancing,
and you you knew Beyonce really liked her daddy. But then to like have to come to terms with the fact that he had all these,
not that guy that you thought he was gonna be.
Like he literally had all these like kids that are under the age of like 6 still or 7 still. It has to be like a punch to the fucking throat, especially because you probably blamed your mama. And in the situations like that, you don't understand your mom because your mom's probably walking around angry and mad and you just looking at your daddy and she don't want to break your heart and be like, your daddy ain't shit. Oh, they had. But let me tell y'all something about Tina Knowles Lawson. Bitch, I follow you on Twitter No, on
Don't
IG.
call her no bitch.
I come on, my bitch. She all right. I follow you on IG. You're living the life that you deserve.
She is.
Like, on a level of, girl, I go to your page, even if I don't see you on my timeline, to make sure I don't miss nothing about your life and your happiness and your love. And, you know, you deserve. Because I know you've been through some shit. You deserve, girl.
Yes.
And you look good.
Good.
And Richard fine still. Richard had always been fine, though.
Good.
And Richard was married to a Gordy, and y'all know how I feel about old school people. No, a Gordy? Like, Bianca Lawson is a Gordy. Do y'all know who the Gordys are? Like, that's real life.
That's real money.
That's real money. That's legacy money. He done put so many people on. The reason everybody is here is because of the Gordys. Low key.
True.
So, no. So, Beyonce besides. So, you're a lemonade to your daddy.
Yes. You know, and it really, like, our relationship really kind of deteriorated, in my opinion.
Well, just put it all out here. When?
Yeah.
Fuck that nigga.
Fuck that nigga.
People don't care about a daddy. No, they be like, no, I'm gonna tell you what happened.
So when I got my DUI, the car that I was driving was under his name. So when it got impounded, I had to call him because I couldn't get it out.
You can't. That is true.
I could not get the car
that's true.
out.
I've had a car
So,
impounded.
and I tried to, like, go around it, and I couldn't. So I ended up calling him and telling him the situation. And at the time, I was still like, oh, my dad is the best. My dad is the best. My dad is, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so he, like, I told him that night, and the next day he came up here. He didn't tell me he was coming up here. He just showed up at my doorstep. And I was just like, oh my God, my dad loves me. I love my dad so much. Oh my God, oh my God. So that was in November. December, he calls me and he tells me I'm moving to Houston. So I was just like, for what? Like, what do you mean you're moving to Houston? Like, you haven't even been up here. Like, he literally got the car out and went back to Corpus. Didn't come back for like a month and a half. Mm-hmm. And then he said he was moving to Houston. And I was just like, for what? And he was just like, well, I just feel like you need me. And I'm just like, I don't. But, you know, whatever. So he was just like, well, I'm just going to stay with you. So I was like, I thought that was weird because, you know, I live in a little tiny 1-bedroom apartment. And, you know, it's not like catered to have company. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I was kind of like, okay, well, why won't you stay with my brother? You know, my brother has a big house and it's spacious and it's more comfortable than my place. But he insisted, so I was just like, all right, cool. And I'm thinking like he was gonna go find an apartment, but he just got real comfortable. So it started to be where I remember one night he locked my deadbolt. And it pissed me off. And I'm just like, yo, like, this is my house. I pay the rent. Like, you can't be coming in my house and locking me out just to see what time I come home. Mm-hmm. And so he was just like, oh, I'm sorry, whatever. I was just worried. And I was like, well, you don't need to be worried. I'm good. And then I remember he cleaned my apartment. Like, I mean, like, I'm not like a dirty person. I'm messy, but it's not like a dirty, nasty messy where it's like food everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's just clothes and shoes and the books and just kind of sprinkled around. Like, that's just me. And he literally cleaned everything up. He put everything up, and I got so irate. And I just pulled everything out of the cabinets. I pulled everything out, and I just threw everything on the floor. And I was just like, you don't go to somebody's house that's an adult and, like, move all their shit. Like, you just don't do that. And so it's just these little things that kind of, like, made me really angry. And I felt like he was overstepping his boundaries. Being that, like, you're trying to come in on a tail end of, like, I'm an adult. You can't.
I don't see it that way.
I did. I took it like that. Because me and him, we had a really rocky relationship growing up. And I felt like he wasn't there for me a lot of times. And, you know, there's one major point where I felt like he should have had my back, and he didn't. And I think from that moment, I always looked at him as somebody that, like, my dad never told me, oh, this is how a man's supposed to treat you. This is how you're supposed to be treated. This is how what supposed to be.
I think him coming to Houston might have been his way of trying to.
But he went about it the wrong way. He still saw me as a 16-year-old girl. He still sees me as a 16-year-old girl.
Maybe y'all should have had a conversation.
I did. I
don't think that's that bad.
No, but to me, like, because of our history, I felt like he was overstepping his boundaries. And then I think one day he realized that, no, I'm not out here, like, wilding the fuck out. Yes, I made a mistake, but, you know, I'm taking care of it. I'm paying for it. I'm taking responsibility for it. So it's not like I'm out here just, like, going crazy. And so he left. And then we got into a dispute, a financial dispute, and I felt like he was trying to take advantage of me. Mm-hmm. So ever since, and then when I told him about how I felt about it, you know, he kind of laughed it off and was very dismissive. Like, oh, you're just being crazy. Oh, you're just this. Oh, why are you so mad? You don't need to be mad. And, you know, it's just like, I don't feel like he takes accountability for the things that he does or doesn't do. So,
well,
he's not who I thought he would be. And then the fact that I'm so I'm just like him is like, he's just like, oh, I can't tell you shit because I'm gonna cuss your ass out.
Yeah, that's my mama's dagger. Anytime she wanna like get under my skin, she's like, "You acting like your dad." That is the fucking dagger that takes me out.
So what's your story with your dad? What are you?
I'm past Beyonce Lemonade though. Like there's no song yet for us.
Do you have a relationship? Like, did you have a relationship with him?
Not a relationship that even as a kid, that I found friendly and likable. Apparently, like my mom told me like a while ago, when she moved and she sent me to live with my dad for like a couple of months when I was a baby, but of course I don't remember that part. But like my earliest memories is by that time he was married and my stepmom used to do my hair. And then the next memory is always me not being able to fit in his family. Mm-hmm. So it was me, my mom, and us and her family, which, I mean, her family was super religious. My mom's family was super religious, especially back in the 90s. They didn't wear big hoop earrings. They didn't wear lipstick. You couldn't go to the movie theater. They didn't even wear pants at the time. My mom's family. God. My mama was popping, but they... At the time, like...
What religion was this?
This was Pentecostal, but this was like the early 90s when everybody wanted to be backwood, whatever. It was a lot. Like, their religion was very, very... how my aunties dress now and how it was originally wasn't the same thing. So my mom came from a super religious family. Mm-hmm. My dad's family was religious, super religious as well. And I actually think my mom's family was more religious than they were. But... like my first real recollection of them was going to visit and they picked me apart all the time. Mm-hmm. So my mom didn't require us to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Mm-hmm. But you had to say yes, no. You can be like, yeah. You couldn't be like whatever. You couldn't be dismissive. But yes sir, no sir, and all that extra shit, my mama just wasn't for that. And and her family wasn't for that. You just need to, if somebody says, call your name, say yes. But you couldn't even say yeah. You had to say yes or whatever. So, like, my dad's family were really big on, like, sir and ma'am and all that extra shit. So, like, when I went over there, that was a problem. And then I went over there one time, and I know this is not a big deal, but it was super big to me. I had this headphone set, and my mom had bought me the Bodyguard cassette tape. It's The Bodyguard. It's literally the #1 album for a billion years in like 92 and 93. It is literally The Bodyguard that has a gospel song on the album.
And you have to click it and then pull it out and flip it.
No, yeah, the headphones that I had. It was old school. It was neon color. It is the old school walkie-talkie. It is the fucking Bodyguard. I will always love you. It is I Have Nothing. I think the most raunchiest song on the whole album was Queen of the Night. And looking back, that's not a raunchy ass song. And I remember my grandparents took my walkie-talkie and my cassette tape away because they said that was devil music. And like, I want to fucking die. And that's when I was just like, I don't fit in here. Because even though my grandma and them on my mom's side was super religious, they let us kind of live a little bit. Like, we couldn't watch BET. It was an era, and it was a time at my grandma's house where you wasn't allowed to watch BET in the living room. They were like super religious. Yeah, they don't be want to talk about that shit, but it was an era where they were super religious. Like, now, everybody's a little more lenient, but back when I was growing up, like, my younger cousins get like
BET in the living room.
You could not watch BET in the living room. Like, it was a problem. So, and then even if you watch it in the back rooms, you were like kind of sneaking to watch it. So like my younger cousins got like the better version of them in religion, which me and my aunt has talked about religion and my issues sometimes with religion based on all that. But so with my like dad's family, it just felt like they were picking me apart all the time. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't say this. You can't say that. You too grown. You too this. You too that. And anybody who knows my mama didn't mind popping me in the mouth. Didn't mind jumping on me. Didn't mind giving me an ass whooping.
Right.
Like, I was one of them kids that got my ass beaten. I can name tools and shit about how many. My mama didn't mind putting me on punishment. My punishments used to last for like 2 months. Like my mama told my whole entire car when I was in college from Tallahassee, Florida to Orlando, Florida. And people from Florida knows how much you pay for towing from Tallahassee to Orlando ain't no cheap little bit of money. That's some shit. You're like, oh, fuck that little girl. Come on.
Yeah.
So it felt very much so they picked on me. So, and my dad had a deserving ass attitude. So, like, the first time I learned how to drive and I had a car, I used to go visit my mom's family because it was like an hour up the road. It was one road. I knew how to drive with my eyes closed there because I went there every summer, every spring break, every winter break. Anytime I was out of school for 3 days, I went to visit my mom's family. When my dad realized I had a car that he did not purchase, that he did not put no money down on, it was my mom and my stepdad, he felt offended because he was like, well, why doesn't she come see my family? Okay, his family lived like 2.5 hours away, and it wasn't like a route I was like accustomed to. So then like he had like an attitude about that. Mind you, the car I had, the brand of car I had, come to find out, he was a district manager to that brand of car. You didn't put no money down on my car. You weren't paying my car, no. You didn't try to get me a discount. You didn't try to get me a discount at the dealerships you were working at. But he always had this entitlement, like, well, I'm her dad. So we went through years like that. It was like I wouldn't see him, then he'll come around, and there'll be entitlement, and I'll just be like, fuck this shit. Then some years will go by, he'll do the same shit. He never was around for any like big thing. We fell out on my high school graduation. Then this nigga calls me back and was like, well, I was gonna give you $100 for every year you was in school, so you're gonna get $1,200. But since you disinvited me, I'm not coming and my family's not coming. So none of his people showed up to my graduation. Whatever. Graduate high school, go to college. We end up in the same city. He's literally working 2 miles from my apartment, my college apartment. So he still had this entitlement. And by this time, one of the guys I was dating was like kind of popular in the college streets. So he drops me off to my dad's job. My dad wanted to take me to lunch or something. And my dad has a son. So his son's now in the city as well. So now both of your kids are in the city. So the guy I'm talking to since high school though, he drops me off to my dad's house at my dad's job in my car because he needs to do something or whatever. I don't even know what he had to do. But I go in and he was like, oh, well, we're going to drive here. I'm like, well, I can't drive. Let me ride with you. Such and such had dropped me off, you know, XYZ. And he was like, what type of man would drop you off to your dad's house, your dad's job, and not introduce themselves to your dad? And then I had to remind this motherfucker, bitch, this is my sophomore year in college, right? I've known this nigga since I've been 15, since my sophomore year in high school. We're now in my sophomore year of college. This nigga knows my family. He doesn't deem you important. He met my mama. He know my stepdaddy. He's been at my house. Yeah. I know his family. Till this day, I call his aunt still aunt. Like, I still hang out with his sister. Like, we still talk. Like, nigga, I've known this nigga at this point for like 6 years. No, he don't deem you important, and don't belittle him for not deeming you important when he's met my mama, my stepdad, my like people. He's met people. So then fast forward a year later, I'm talking to, like a year and a half later, I'm talking to this like even bigger guy in the city, and somebody on his side of the family dies. Not sure who. Sorry, R.I.P. whoever that was. I go down to his city because he doesn't live far from the college town. And so he has me and my brother, his son, at like the wake. No, what's after the funeral? Like a repast. It was like a repast. Or like after it was like a repast. So it was like a whole bunch of family from his side or whatever. So we going through like the whole thing. And I'm there. I had this short Tony Braxton cut. I was popping. And some black tights. You know, I had on all black, but I had on like these red accessories, and I had on like the Forever 21 because that was just popping again. That had just started popping. Forever 21 had just came up, so I had like these big, you know, because you remember like when you had the red accessories, they used to be like huge.
Yeah, the plastic ones.
Yeah, I had them.
Yeah,
I was popping out. So I go to this function, and this nigga is like, we're walking around, and they're like, well, who is she? Because mind you, I never, after a certain age, I was happy. My mom forced me to go visit his family. Then I got to a certain age and she just kind of let me live. And I was like, thank God. So, like years had went by and I knew immediate family. I didn't really know too much outside family. Right. So now we're at this function with everybody because somebody died. Can't remember who. I'm really sorry. That sounds so trash though. So I don't remember who died, but now we're all at this function. I'm in all black and these red accessories. And we walking around and he's like, oh, this is my, oh, they were saying his son's name. And then they were like, well, who is she? And he was like, oh, this is my daughter, Ebony. I mean, you really don't know her because I wasn't married to her mama. Ooh. Bitch, I'm 24 at this time. Like, nigga, what? They don't know me because, nigga, you never brought me the fuck around. Like, the nerve of you, bitch. Like, I literally was so irate about that shit. Because, nigga, you're not even married to this nigga mama now. Like, y'all divorced. Let's be clear. Okay? So, like, he literally, we were walking around this like repast and everyone was like, well, who was that? And then he kept trying to explain why the fuck they didn't know me. But when the bottom black ass line was, you never really brought me around to like much of outside family, and not even in a shady way, because you and my mom were like boyfriend and girlfriend. So don't act like I was like a side baby, nigga. You got married like smooth after my mama. Like don't do that shit. And then to add even more insult to injury, he was just like, oh yeah, her boyfriend is such and such and he's about to go pro. So now he's like a walking fucking ad for some nigga that's actually hoeing me that I was crying about in the car before I even walked in. Because, you know, he's hoeing me every day. So I'm getting hoed by some nigga. I'm crying. My mama don't be a hoe by this nigga because I'm crying to her every day. You don't even, I don't even talk to you enough for you to even know like the situation.
You over here
you're bragging about a nigga.
Son-in-law.
My son-in-law. The son-in-law that's literally crushing my fucking spirit, you son of a bitch. And that literally, that has been the nature the entire fucking time. And it still is. I remember just even a couple of years ago, I was going to therapy. I'm a fan of therapy. And my mom knew. My mom happened to see, my mom went by to see his parents because my mama knew them at one point. And so my mom basically was kind of in a happy, braggy way because my mama sees no issues with therapy. So my mother was like, I'm really happy Ebony is going to go seek therapy. You know, maybe she needs to get some stuff off her chest, you know. The girl got some issues that she don't want to say she got. So, fast forward a couple of weeks later, I called my grandparents. They're like, you should really call your dad. And I'm like, fuck that nigga. And they're like, no, but really call your dad. And I'm like, okay. And my dad's really sick. He has diabetes, like he's sick. And so I like called this nigga, and he was like, we on the phone. And he brings up the therapy, which made me irate because I think I was embarrassed because I know the stigma to therapy.
Right.
And especially in black communities, they think you're crazy when you go to therapy. So him saying me going to therapy instantly put me on a defense mode because I know what people think about therapy. Even though I don't think that about therapy, I know how people look at therapy.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this motherfucker thinks I'm crazy. And then when he said, like, yeah, he basically said they think it's about me, but I don't know why they would think it's about me because we have a great relationship. I don't think we had a problem. And, like, it clicked to me then that all the therapy in the world wouldn't help me. Like, a lot of times in therapy, they tell you to talk to the person. And then I realized then that wasn't the avenue I could take in therapy because if he didn't see a problem, how do I go to you and say, I feel XYZ about the cards you've played and I've been dealt this whole entire time? And I remember, like, I got mad at my mom. I felt so super defeated because how the fuck do you talk to somebody and they don't think there's a fucking problem? And it's like, nigga, we don't talk. And when we do talk, we fall the fuck out. Like, nigga, we not friends.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, we can count on, like, how many hands we talked in, like, 10 years.
Yeah.
And I just remember then, it was just like, all right, I'm going to have to let this go. I don't know how you let it go. I don't know how you tell somebody that you're fucked and you feel fucked. And this might be kind of fucked up. But, I mean, if you don't see a problem, where do I go from there?
Yeah.
Right? And I remember, like, that was the last time I talked to him. That might have been probably like a year or two ago now.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was that.
So how do you think, like, your relationship... Because, you know, I always hear people say, oh, I had a good relationship with my dad and my love life is still fucked up.
But, you know, I had a girl went to... She writes books now. Shout out to Ashara. I think her book is called Don't Shoot the Messenger. Ashara Mills. And she's doing like I guess another book. And she put on Facebook, she was like, you know, if you have daddy issues, say your daddy issues. And I remember I made a comment more so about being a girl who didn't have their dad in the house. And she hit me back and she was like, you realize that girls who have their daddy in the house also has daddy issues. And I was like, the fuck? Like, so niggas just ain't shit across the board.
Across the board, girl.
Yeah. And that was like the first time. And then I started thinking about it, looking at like people in my family. I was like, oh yeah, no, that happens too. But I think a lot of that happens because we tend to give kudos. If you're in the house and you're a male, it's like, oh, your baby father live with you or your husband is in the house. That's great. Oh, they come to the soccer game. Oh, he's great. Oh, he changed his training wheels. Oh, you got a good baby daddy. Oh, your baby daddy watched the kids when you have to go to work. He's good. And it's like we give like gold medals to niggas for doing shit that they supposed to do. That you wouldn't give a gold medal for if you was a mother. So I think dads are kind of fucked anyway.
But I'm saying, like, do you think that it has affected you in the way you tolerate certain things and have tolerated certain things and how you date?
I don't think I date people like my dad. No. I don't date people like...
My ex-boyfriend was just like my dad.
But I don't know, and see, and then I go into this space. I don't know my dad well enough to know if I even date like him, if that makes any sense. Like, I know my dad, but like, I know my mother. I know if I see a girl and I know my mother. I don't know my dad to know if I actually date like my dad. And maybe that's a problem within itself as well, to, you know.
Yeah, because my ex-boyfriend was very much like my dad. Very hot and cold, very, you know, my dad, he's, you know, 1 minute, he's very inconsistent. And I think that's probably why I hate inconsistency with people right
But
now.
I have a homegirl. Her dad was like semi-abusive, so you damn it raised your voice at her. She's like, okay, we can't be in a relationship because like what happened with her and her dad. So, but like I said, I don't know my dad well enough to know if I date like him, not like him, kind of like him, sort of like him. I know like the people I date don't look like him. I can give you that. But
it's not about look.
I'm just saying that's the only thing I can give you because
that attract you to somebody.
Yeah, no, but that's the only thing I can give you. But then like I think, and maybe sometimes I feel like because of the openness me and my mom have in our relationship, I know too much. But then some shit I was just gonna know anyway. Like my dad didn't sign my birth certificate because my mom wouldn't give me his last name. So this nigga didn't sign a birth certificate. So I have a birth certificate with no daddy on it, mind you. Mm-hmm. But then I got paperwork saying you're 99.9% the father too. So like I know a lot of the prehistoric drama too.
Right.
And so my dad thinks that kind of played into how I viewed him. But it was like, nah, if he was just a good nigga, I don't think these stories came out on some default shit. Right. These stories came out because you didn't show up and I was looking out the window. Like that literally happened. My mother blew sofa, I'm out the window, I'm a fucking kid waiting for you to come. My mom's like, hey girl, he's not coming. I mean, not like that. She probably like, hey girl, watch your ass at park. I'm gonna buy some candy or whatever. Probably made me happy as a kid. But it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's shitty because, and like I said, I went into a space where I had to realize that I'm just not gonna get the answers I deserve.
Right.
Period. And that's fucked up. That's pretty shitty, but I'm not. Mm-hmm. And I knew I wasn't gonna get the answers. If somebody says you're in therapy, it's like, well, I don't know why you would be in therapy because of me. I thought we're great. I mean, I had to literally come, and I think that annoyed me the most that night. Was like, damn. So, therapist, we need to find another avenue because
I don't want to talk to him anymore.
Because, like, how do I go to a nigga and be like, I'm hurt?
Yeah.
And then to say you're hurt and you don't know what you heard about.
Yeah.
Because you got to talk. Some of that stuff you have to talk out.
Yeah.
I mean, my aunt said that. My aunt said that recently. Like I said, I had a cousin die like 9 months ago. Mm-hmm. And it was a horrible weekend for me. I was already half going through like a breakup. One of my favorite cousins died. I got super drunk. Everybody's like, take that girl to an AA meeting. True story. And so then my aunt was like, have you... Oh, no, my aunt told me to go to like AA. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't want to go to no AA. And they told me I got daddy issues. Because I think daddy issues are such a kick in the fucking chest. Especially because people use that, like people say that for everything. Like daddy issues is just like anytime a girl has a problem with niggas, oh, you got daddy issues.
I was like, you fucking right, I got goddamn daddy issues.
And I'm more like, bitch, why I gotta be daddy issues?
You fucking right, I got issues.
So my aunt said to me, she was like, you ever thought that the problem with you was that you probably wanted to have a cool dad and you didn't? And it's like, I never thought about it that way. Because I never
expectations.
Yeah, and I never, and I was like, well, I should have a cool dad. I got a cool fucking mom. Like, what do you mean? You're cool. I got a cool aunt. I got a cool grandma. I got cool people. Like, I should have a cool dad. I got cool fucking people around me. Fuck. So that was the first time I heard that.
Like your other father figures, how were they in your life?
My little brother has a really great dad. Like
your stepdad?
No. My little brother, no. My mom married somebody else. But my little brother's dad is amazeballs. To the point where you can be jealous of it. Amazeballs. My stepdad, you realize how daddy issues are, I don't want to say genetic because that's not the right word, but you can see how daddy issues affect everybody. Mm-hmm. So my mom had already some situations going on with her dad and her stepdad. So when it came full circle to her to get married and me have a stepdad, it was just certain shit she didn't allow because of the dynamic of her relationships with her dad and her stepdad. So my stepdad really didn't have much opinion to our face or could do anything to us in our face because my mom felt a certain way about him overstepping boundaries with us. But like I said, that stuff ends up being shut down to generational, and not everybody fucks in a sense. So my stepdad's super cool. I will email him. I will tell him happy birthday. They're divorced now. I will tell him happy birthday.
Yeah.
Father's Day, I still hit him up. But it was still a disconnect with us. And he still had a disconnect with our siblings because how my mom kind of felt about her situation and how things were dealt with her situations when it came to a father and a stepfather. So he couldn't, it was bound. We had a lot of boundaries.
Well, that's good.
It was, but then with boundaries come a
See, I didn't have boundaries.
disconnect. Like, you can't beat us. You can't yell at, like, you cannot beat us. You cannot talk crazy to us.
Yeah.
My mama had, like, some shit that you just couldn't do.
Yeah, we didn't have boundaries. He could say whatever. He could do whatever. He could cuss us out. I remember one time he told me he was going to send me to my dad's house. I'm like, what the fuck? I remember he told me that he wasn't going to take me to work. And I said, well, how am I supposed to get to work? And he goes, you can walk. And he left.
Well, do you think that was a problem?
Fuck yeah.
Well, because then I think people don't think their mom defends them. Like, my mom overly defended us.
Yeah, see, and my mom, she took his side because she thought I was overreacting. I said, I don't have a car. He told me to walk. We don't live close to Olive Garden.
Yeah, no.
Like,
and see, my mom was overly defensive, so you could like that like would never happen with us.
She thought I was just being dramatic, and I wasn't, and I felt like she didn't have my back at that time. And I remember there was another situation where I had just moved back from Houston. And my dad had my dresser, and I needed my dresser because I was tired of living out of trash bags at my mom's house. So my stepdad said, I will take you to go get your dresser. I'll put it in the truck. I said, all right, cool. And I remember I went into the room. I said, hey, John, you ready? Because, my dad's at the house. We're ready to go get the dresser. And he was just like, I'm folding clothes. And I said, so you want me to come back like in 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Like,
how long you phone, my nigga?
Like how long is this gonna take? And he was just like, I told you, I'm folding clothes. I'm busy. Now get out of here. And I think that probably that moment, probably that defiance, that's where it started. Like that like when people tell me that they like I can't do something or they're not gonna do it, I just do it on my own. I think at that moment I was probably like 18, 19, or no, I was 19, about to be 20, and it just clicked, and I said, fuck you and fuck this house, I'll get that shit myself. And it was a pretty big size dresser, and I had my little Buick. And I went to my dad's house, and I said, Dad, it's just me. Put it in the trunk. I'm going to drive 5 miles an hour back to my mom's house. I don't give a shit if it falls apart on the road. I'm going to take it back to the house. He was like, okay. Put it in there. I mean, I literally shoved that bitch in there and got it back to my mom's house. I pulled the bitch out by myself and was dragging it across the lawn because it was so heavy. Like, literally out there like an hour trying to drag that bitch across the lawn. And I remember my stepdad came outside. He was like, you want me to help you? I said, fuck you, no. And my mom, she just looked at me, and I was saying, man, nobody talk to me. Nobody talk to me. Just nobody talk to me. Like, I don't understand, like, this attitude of you say you're going to do something, you do it. If you promise you're going to do something, you do it. You wouldn't let your son go all out. You wouldn't promise your son something and not do it for him. So I should be treated the same way. And I think after that moment, like, that's when everything just, like, shifted. And I was just like, man, fuck all y'all.
Yeah, that do it. Like, but my mom was polar opposite, I must say. So my mom was very much so like a fucking to step parents and just shit. And even, but like I said, it was a very much so her upbringing with the stepdad and her dad that even she didn't let our dads talk to us crazy. Like, you don't live in these houses you don't live in our house every day.
Yeah.
You're not here every day. You don't get, especially if you're not here every day, you don't get to like
dictate
and work the child out. Like, that's not how this goes. So I do, she was a Wonder Woman in that sense. And she's pretty much a Wonder Woman in all senses. But for sure for that, I didn't have like a bad stepdad story because of the boundaries that she set. Because like we were her kids.
Yeah.
You don't bother her kids. But as far as like, yeah, it's just, I think it's very difficult. And that's why some people always ask like, you don't want no kids. And I'm like, it's nobody. Seeing as though I'm not with anybody I've dealt with in my past, I'm very happy I'm not nobody's baby mama. Because I'm like, people be thinking daddy issues come because your daddy's a piece of shit and he's absent. But sometimes daddy issue comes when you in just a badass relationship and the kids see that bullshit. Because I had a dude I used to talk to, and he kept like bragging about how he do so much for his kids and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you hoeing a mama every day. You and a mama break up, make up, break up, make up, break up, make up. You don't think that's going to provide daddy issues at some point?
Yeah.
You're like
essentially teaching your kids how to treat another person.
You are.
When you're mistreating the mom or the dad.
Yeah, it's like, it's just so many levels and angles to it. So no, I'm happy I'm nobody's baby mama, nobody's ex-wife with kids.
I'd probably be a beast.
I'm probably better off having my kids by myself and not knowing no nigga at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about me with kids by myself, Lord Jesus. But like, all in all, like now, do you talk to your dad?
I keep my distance because I've set the
like
boundary.
Does he get a holiday? Do you call him on a holiday?
I text him.
Okay, that's good though.
But for the most part, I keep my distance. I feel like now that I'm older, I don't want anybody, and I say this, and my family knows this too. Like, I don't like inconsistent people. If you're going, you cannot call me every other 6 months and be like, hey, what you doing? Don't do that. I'd rather stay over there. It's cool. I'm not tripping. Like, I get it. Not everybody is like that, but I prefer consistency because I never had it. And I hate when people say, I hate when people do that to me. Like, especially if I'm telling you it bothers me and then you're so dismissive of me. And I've told that to my dad. Me and my dad have had this conversation multiple times, and he does it. He still does it. And I have finally accepted our relationship is going to be what it is. And until he can admit to me, hey, I understand my part in this in this situation. Until that, it's an arm's length. And I don't have time for that. I don't
talk to my dad in like a year or two. And like I said, my dad is very sick. And so then you go through, I think for me, I go through a space of, because he is very sick, if something happens, now, okay, you got to show up to a funeral. But if you cry, and listen, I cry off Grey's Anatomy in a Hallmark commercial. So I don't want to go and then I cry and everyone's like, you're crying because you're guilty. And it's like, I'm not fucking crying because I'm guilty. I'm crying because it's still just sad.
Yeah. I mean, my dad had a stroke back in February. And mind you, we didn't really speak then. But when I got the call that he was in the hospital, I mean, I literally dropped everything that I did and went to the hospital. But when the first thing he said was, "Fuck you doing here?"
Nah, I'm gonna tell you, and that's fucked up.
And I'm just like, yo, my nigga, really?
Like, nah.
And I didn't get like a thank you for coming. I appreciate you.
No, that happened to me.
I didn't get any of that. So
no, my dad was super sick. I was like blowing up okay, mind you, the phone call I get is if you care, your dad is sick, kind of like on some shit, like you're an asshole. And I'm like, well, I do care, you know. That is like half my sperm, like that nigga's sperm is like half of my body, you know. I get it. So I call him, and I call him, and I call him, and I call him, and this nigga calls me back like, oh hey girl, like.
That's exactly what my dad
did. And I
did.
felt some type of way about, okay, bitch, they telling me that it's shunts and heart attacks and diabetes and you're dying, and I'm trying to call you, and I'm expecting you to call me back like, you know, hey girl, no, you call me back like, I seen you call, but I'm just now getting back to your phone call because I just felt like getting back to your phone call, which is what he said basically. And I remember thinking like, bitch, you almost died and this is your attitude?
That's how my dad was. That's how my dad was. He said I had gas, I had air, but I wasn't sure. So I just came to the hospital. I said, my nigga, you're on the neurological floor. Something happened. What you mean? You are on the neurological floor. Overnight. You have air in your chest?
No.
That's not it, bro. And then so I go ask the nurse, like, okay, I'm his daughter. Like, what happened? She said he had a mild stroke. And I was just like, this nigga.
Yeah, no, and I think
said, I didn't want to worry you. I didn't want to worry you.
And I wouldn't even worry about that, because then it was like years later that incident happened where my mama was talking too much and said how I was going to therapy. And just the fact that he really was like, well, I didn't do anything, so I don't understand what your problem is. And it's like, nigga, you realize the day I graduated college is the same day your son graduated college. Y'all had a whole birthday cake and a party for this nigga. No one thought to be like, oh, she's graduating too.
Yeah.
No, nigga, that's a problem. You weren't at my high school graduation. Nigga, that's a problem. The fact that these niggas I dated never thought to be like, well, who's your dad? No one ever asked me that bullshit. Everybody knew my mama. Everybody knew my brothers. Niggas is getting Nikes and jerseys and shit. You weren't a part of that. No one cared. You know? So it was, you know.
Do you feel like you've accepted y'all's relationship?
I didn't have a choice. I wasn't given a choice. The day I was talking to him and he literally said to me, this is not even a lie. What? Yeah. I thought we had a great relationship. What you mean? Because I know your therapy isn't about me, because I mean, we're good. That's when I was like, oh, you live on Saturn and I'm on Earth. So whatever treatment I need.
He said, oh, you live on Saturn. Oh,
whatever.
You live on Saturn.
And then I literally, the next time I went into the therapy session, I was like, okay, so that's not the avenue we can take. The avenue is not, you know, because you know they love to they'd love to give you an assignment. The assignment isn't, you know, write something to your father. That can't be the fucking assignment, because this nigga think we don't have a fucking problem. Mm-hmm. So we need to figure out something besides that. What's plan B, bitch? I was in the therapy session frustrated, because it's like, okay, so now what?
So what was her solution?
She didn't have one then, and then I just stopped going because I got pissed. Mm-hmm. I know that was the truth. After that, I was just like, I mean, in my mind at the time, it's just like, all right, you're going to have to come to terms.
So how did you?
I just said, okay, and I let that be. And then he got off the phone because my mama being the mama she is, I text her telling her off for telling my business. And then she texts him and was like, why would you say that to her? Mm-hmm. And then he was like, well, I'm going to get off the phone right now. And he got off the phone, and I hung up. He got off the phone before I actually could hang up. He hung up on me, kind of. And that was that. I mean, I came to terms because, like I said, he is, you know,
yeah,
an asshole, but he's still ill. But, I mean, there's nothing I can do if you don't think there's a problem.
Right.
I can't make you feel like there's a problem, and I cannot make you apologize.
No.
And then the sad part was when I talked to the girl Ashara and from high school. She was like, people who dads in the house have issues. And then my aunt was like, you know, sometimes You want a cool daddy, you don't have one. And so it's like, damn, bitches ass. So everybody got daddy issues in this bitch.
In a sense.
Ain't that fucked up?
I mean,
y'all niggas ain't shit. I say this shit every week.
But you know, I think it's like people. It's like you grow up expecting your parents to be like. You have this expectation of them to really, like be there and love you
mold your
and
life.
be right. They're supposed to be right. They're supposed to know more than you. And then when you get older, you be looking at them like, damn, I shouldn't have listened to your ass. You don't know shit.
They were figuring out why they was telling you what to do. But yeah, no. I mean, I'm thankful. Like I said, I had a great mom and I had a very good stepdad. So I lucked out in that sense.
Yeah, I think my mom did the best that she could. I don't necessarily like. I don't have daddy issues. I've accepted him as he is and what he is.
I think you get to an age you accept your parents as people.
Yes, I accept him for who he is and how he is, and God knows I love him. I always considered myself to be a daddy's girl, but I don't think he ever considered me like that.
Oh shit! I ain't never said that shit.
Yeah, like I mean, I love like when
I want my unborn son.
I remember the day they got divorced. Like they said they were gonna separate, and I remember I was at my grandma's house, and I was 6, and he called, and he told me he wasn't coming home, and I just started crying because I was just like, well, I don't understand why you're not coming home. Like, who's gonna send me to sleep? Like, who gonna read to me? Like, what you mean?
My daddy says you.
But you know, like I was a dad. I loved my daddy. I mean, I loved him so much, and I could never understand why he never put me first. Even when he got remarried to his ex-wife, I mean, she did not like me not one bit, and he knew it, but he stayed
My daddy
with her.
warned me about men like you, said, baby,
I remember she threw all my stuff out.
Bitch,
she
what?
said, "Yep." And you know
now,
what? I tried.
My stepmom was cool, but I was like a kid. I was like a kid.
I tried. I remember she called my mom a bitch in front of me.
Fatal.
And I remember I just remember leaping across the bed and trying to grab her, and my dad just picked me up and he just threw me back in the room and he closed the door and I said, "Fuck out of here!"
Fatal. Not my mama, bitch.
The next morning, she had all my stuff out of the closets and she's like, "Tell that little bitch she can leave." And so I remember he just packed up all my stuff and he took me back to my mom's house. And I think that's where that turning point is that he chose her over me, and he chose to be with her versus making sure his daughter was good. And then, you know, years later they ended up divorcing, and I thought that was the funniest thing because I'm just like,
and that's how that shit always been.
You know what? You picked that bitch over me.
That's
and
how
you
that shit always been.
I said, I'm always gonna be here. I'm always gonna be here.
I'm your seed.
I'm always gonna be here.
I'm your sperm, nigga.
I'm
your sperm, nigga.
You over here looking crazy talking about you finna get a divorce.
But
that was supposed to be your
about
boo.
her, not you. She said, baby, girl,
That's supposed to be your boo. And now y'all talking about y'all separate.
So y'all not gonna dance with my father like Luther Vandross?
You know, I haven't made that decision because I always think about that because when I get married.
You don't want to get married. Are you gonna do a traditional wedding where somebody walk you down? Because like my mama walking me down the aisle though. That sign still to deliver. I'm telling you, me and Kim about to be busting it. I'm gonna have on my white dress
or me walking by myself.
You should have your brother, but it's gonna be me in my white dress, and then my mama I'm gonna have her wear like an off-white dress, like kind of like champagne-y, and then me and her gonna walk down. Yeah, she gonna walk down the aisle. And then my mama gets super nervous. I'm way more coordinated than my mama, so I already know I'm gonna have to drag her down the aisle because she not gonna understand like the step. So I'm gonna have to drag her down the aisle, and I'm gonna be like, "Ma'am, can you come on?" But she's still gonna walk me down.
That's cute.
She is. She gonna give me away. She probably gonna be so happy to give me away too.
Maybe I'll just go to the justice of the peace and just
get
the fuck over with.
My mama did that. That's
and
how
just
she got
maybe
married.
have like a really because that's what I want. I just want to have a good ratchet ass party.
I said that too.
I am tired of going to weddings and I can't lift up my dress and drop it.
My wedding gonna be so rad. So is my funeral though. I said that too.
My wedding is gonna be super fucking. I'm talking about like Uncle Luke.
But yeah, well, I'm at the wait. I'm gonna phase my wedding out. It's gonna be like, or I'm gonna do my wedding. Well, I don't want to tell y'all my thing because I want nobody to steal it. Never mind. I'm not gonna tell you how my reception gonna go because I want you hoes to steal it. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all because then y'all ain't my friends. And y'all can steal it. It don't matter. So I'm gonna do Soul Train because I have a thing for like the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and I really do love the 90s. So when my reception first starts, it's gonna start. The music's gonna be the 60s, and it's going to the 70s, and it's going to the 80s, and I'm gonna do it that way because then by that time the old people gonna leave, like my grandma and them. Mm-hmm. So by the time we get to the 90s with Luke and them, my grandma and them gonna be gone, and then definitely by the time we get to like the 2000s, they're gonna be gone. So I can just be ratchet.
Yeah, like
because my family will do that. My family will be there for a good cha-cha slide, for a good you make me happy. Yeah. A good electric slide. Yeah. And then
keep a shuffle.
Yeah. Keep a shuffle. My family's there for that type of shit. But they're going to be out like once we get to like pop that pussy, and my ratchet ass right there with that wedding dress.
Girl, I'm telling you, like I have been to so many weddings where I'm just like, can we play like at least a little juvenile?
Ooh, bitch!
A little 9-9 for the
big timers. Stay fly on you niggas. Ooh, that's my shit, bitch. Gator booze with a pimp.
Because that's what I really want. Like I don't really necessarily want like this traditional ceremony.
No, my mama, I don't want no bridesmaids. My mama gonna walk me down the aisle. I'm gonna have to drag her because she's not gonna be able to keep on beat. She gonna be happy to give me a wag because she'll be like, good, when this bitch needs some money, she ain't gonna call me. And it's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna be super excited. My daddy's probably not gonna show up, especially if he find out that he's not walking me down the aisle. So I'm already ready for that.
Yeah.
And we'll keep it moving. It's gonna be a great time.
I just want a ratchet ass party.
It is. It's gonna be a good time. Oh, but we late than ever. Better late than ever?
Better never than late. Wait, no. Better late than never.
But we're here. Sorry this episode was late. A whole bunch of shit this week, my friends. But listen to me on Social Complex. Listen. Tubbs and Justin, you guys were like the greatest hosts.
Thanks for my fucking invite.
You had to work at D-Bar.
Okay. I don't care.
You had to work at D-Bar. We was taping while you was pouring drinks. Anyway,
I was probably know what?
Tubbs and Justin, thank you.
Record on a Saturday night.
Their friend Peabody did not show up. Peabody, I would love to meet you as well. I heard you was at some African party. You're way too drunk.
Don't you not invite me no more.
No, we're gonna do a part 2, so we're gonna go back.
And y'all better not be trying to do it on those Sunday nights.
We'll pick another day, but they both said because their friend Peabody didn't show up, and apparently Peabody's the David Ruffin of their group.
To who?
The David Ruffin from the Temptations. Oh. I was like, we don't have a David Ruffin in our group. She's just at work. I'm sorry. She's just at work. He's your David Ruffin. But Peabody, I would really like to meet you. But Justin and Tubbs, you guys were wonderful. I talked about my boobs and my DUI and how we talked about areolas. We talked about Hugh Hefner. It was just a whole lot going on during that interview, so you guys should tune in. I'm not sure I think they say they post on Thursdays, but the second I have it, I will post it for you guys. Do you have anything?
Yeah, next time fucking invite me.
Okay, anything besides that?
That's it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
We will be here next week. An earlier time. I would say same time, but an earlier time. And you guys be blessed. And if you have daddy issues, fuck that nigga anyway. He ain't shit.